live.
Well, hello there.
Right. So, hello, everyone, and welcome to Career Tip Tuesday. I am your host, Sherry Sims, founder of Black Career Women's Network. Black Career Women's Network is a career development organization that supports the professional development of Black women. And since 2012, we have been helping women across nationwide to help support them to create the change they want to see in their careers. So, we have an amazing special guest that is with us today, Ms. Marsha Haygood, leadership strategist and co author of the book of Little Black Book of Success, Laws of Leadership for Black Women. And those of you who know, typically Makita and I are on Career Tip Tuesday. She's still coming. For those of you who may want to know where she is, she will be on her way. So I know that we typically will have people coming in from LinkedIn to comments. I see Valencia. Hi, Valencia. Welcome. As you all are coming in with your comments, please let us know where you are watching from. So that way we can let Marsha know where all of our viewers are watching from today. So we're going to go ahead and kick this off with the Miss Amazing Marsha Haygood for Career Tip Tuesday. And Marsha is going to be sharing 6 of her favorite career tips. This is what Career Tip Tuesday is all about, is making sure that we share and drop those gems with you all. So let's kick it off. I mean, I know we've got, wait a minute, we've got some people coming in. Shamika from Tennessee is coming in. We see Marsha. She's looking forward to discussion today. Cheyenne's coming in from they're coming in now. My goodness. There they are. You guys are moving too fast for me to see who all is here. But I see Mississippi, Ohio. I see someone from France.
Oh my
Dallas,
goodness.
Texas, Atlanta. This is great. New Jersey, Louisville, Kentucky. You all are absolutely amazing. California, Phoenix, Madison, Wisconsin, New York. Yeah, you guys are showing up now. I see Florida. Ooh, they're in here. All right. Thank you, you all.
Okay.
We're going ahead and get started with Marsha's favorite career tips. All right, so Marsha, I guess what we'll do is let you introduce yourself to the audience and tell them more about you and who you are. We know who you are because when you're one of our favorites, but a lot of women may already know who you are, but introduce yourself and let them know what you do.
Okay. Marsha Haygood. I am calling in from Florida, Sarasota, Florida now. I split my time between Sarasota, Florida and New York. And I am a leadership strategist and a career coach, motivational speaker, and one of the co-authors of the Little Black Book of Success, Laws of Leadership for Black Women, and the companion workbook. I should have had these right in front of me, and the companion workbook. I actually am a former HR exec, started my career and ended my career in HR in the corporation, and have now been doing having my own business. I'm an entrepreneur. My company is Stepwise Associates, and I've been doing that. I just celebrated 17 years as an entrepreneur. And my goal is really to work with women, predominantly women of color, so that they can so that they can live their dream, take their dreams out of storage, and live both a happy, healthy, and successful life. And that means different things to different people. But if you keep those 3 things in mind, then you can do them. But I start off with the first career tip being the first person you lead is yourself. Okay. So I say, lead yourself, reflect on who you are. That means really reflect, not just say, this is my name, this is who I am. So think about your values, think about how you show up, both personally and professionally, the story you tell yourself. We have a lot of negative self-talk. We don't tell people about it, but we have it. So what the story you tell yourself and the story you tell others. And then think about if your actions demonstrate that story. So I like to give an example with this one because, you say, I am confident. I have great integrity. I have these great values. And then at home, you're home gossiping about the neighbor next door that did such and such and such. That's not integrity. That's not the value. If that's the values you have, that's the values that you have. But the story you tell yourself should be the actions that you demonstrate. So the first
Love
person
that.
you lead is yourself.
I love that, Marsha. I
Yeah.
love that simply because what you're saying is that you need to walk the walk, not just at work, but at home. So be consistent across the board with who you are. And then there's not any discrepancies if someone sees you
Mhm.
outside of that space. And I love that. I
Yeah,
love that.
strive for consistency. And you know what? That comes with time because we are doing certain things and oftentimes I have to tell you, I'm talking to women often and saying what does success mean for you? And they can't articulate it. You know, they say they want to be successful and people first think right away money.
Right.
And I'm just going to say to you that money is only your motivator on payday. Is
Ooh,
you know you're real
that's a gem.
motivated on
Wait, I got to write that one down and drop that on the screen. Hold on. I got we got to write that down. And so now Makita's
hey
here, you
Makita.
all. Makita. So wait, we got to write that one down and drop it on the screen. That's a gem. Okay, hold on. Marsha's gem. What was that again, Marsha? We got to drop that on the
Money
screen for
is
the lady.
only the motivator on payday.
Only the motivator on payday. Oh, I
That's
love
right.
that.
The rest of the day, you know, you need something else that's going to motivate you. What's your why? Is the second tip. You know, decide what it is that you want to do, want to be known for, and then live toward that. So oftentimes, you know, I hear people say that she made me do this. I had a bad boss, so she made me do this. Mm, guess what? You know what you control. You
Mm-hmm.
can't control everything going on around you. You control you. So, how are you going to show up and why are you showing up? Now, again, people go back and say, I'm showing up because I want to get that paycheck. But you know what? If you're living an unhealthy life because you're stressed out, because you're worried about what your co author did and what your boss did, then you're not living your why. Are you there because you want to learn something, because you want to grow something, because you want to meet someone? What is it that you want from that job? I don't care how bad the job is. And I'll share with you that I've had some terrible jobs, but now I'm living my best life because I've learned from all of those bad jobs as well. I've learned almost as much from the bad people that I've worked with as I have from the good people.
Mm-hmm.
The good people tell me what I want. The bad people tell me how I don't want to be. So either way, I'm learning. So rather than fighting that, handle what you control. You know, so
Now I like that. And
yeah.
I gotta bring this gem back up on the screen one more time, okay? Because I think this is important for people to see that money is only the motivator on payday, which that doesn't last long, right? Because then you
Mhm.
have to disperse those funds and pay other things, and then what's going to happen after that is either put back in some of them back in savings, and then you're paying bills. Then what's
Bills.
left? Are you grinding to the next 2 weeks?
Then you have to grind for the next 2 weeks and work all over again. I want to be motivated all the time. So when I talk about what's your why, I I think of three things. Three, and I'm gonna say the three C's because they just happen to come up being C's. And
Okay.
that's have developing your confidence. What do you know that you're good at? What's your skill? What's your superpower? And then live it, whatever it is. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be shy about it. Share it with others. You know, what's your C? What's that confidence level? And then being consistent with it. So confidence and consistency. And you can't say I'm this way at work and then I'm another way at home. And when you ask for feedback, I'm going to share with you that when you even ask some of your friends, when you say that boss said I was terrible because I always have an attitude, because I always do this, I always do that. guess what? Your friends have seen it too. They're just not telling you.
Yeah.
so so be consistent. What if you want to be known for something? Be known for that all the time. And then make a commitment to live your best life. So I say confidence, consistency, and commitment are key to living a happy life. And so often, when I'm talking to women, especially women of color, we're stressed out about things that we can control. We're just letting other people control those things. Nobody controls my happy.
Mm-hmm.
I control my happy, but I want to be consistent about that. And that kind of leads to the next one, and that's use strategy over emotion. Now, you ladies have heard me say this a number of times. I'm going to say it
Mm-hmm.
constantly, 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 because we let people anger us. We let people steal our joy.
Yeah.
Don't let other people's garbage steal your joy. And a good way to do that is to zip it. I had to learn this one. Be quiet, listen, look, and learn. Because if I let somebody else do all the talking, all of the graveling, all of the stuff, I'm learning something about them. And then,
Yeah.
quite frankly, understand that Google is your friend. The Google is your friend. I research everybody. You know, I want to know what they like. I want to know what they don't like. I want to know who they're connected with. I want to know what's been written about them. Because if I really want to be able to talk to them, I have to speak their language. So I say this especially when, and you ladies have done one of the sessions where you're saying how to get along with difficult people and difficult boss.
Yeah.
Before you go have that first conversation with them, Google them. Hear what they're talking about. See what's
Mm-hmm.
going on. You mentioned in um, a career tip Tuesday how something might be going on with them outside. Well, you want to
Yeah.
know whatever you can find out beforehand. Do they have
Mm.
children? Is something going on in their home? Are they a caregiver? You know what's happening, so that you can start talking their language. You have to, or it's a good idea. You don't have to, but it's a good idea to be empathetic so that you could gain more information. Now you're going to use that information in some way. Some way it's going to be to forgive them. Sometimes it's going to be to get away from them. So
Yeah.
you just want to know what it is. So look, learn, and listen, and then consider yourself neutral. You know, I talk about having a neutral face often. You know, sometimes, we're already, and we've heard it a number of times, those angry Black women. Sometimes it's because we're thinking hard. We're not even, if somebody has come up to you and say, "What's the matter?" And you say, "Oh, nothing. I was just thinking." That means you don't have a neutral face.
Mm-hmm.
Practice that.
But that's
You know,
hard for some people. That's hard for some people, Marsha, that they have that
so
poker
is
face.
life. You know what?
You
Life
know?
is hard. Life is hard.
Yeah.
You decide what you want and what you don't want to do. Again, that's under your control. So if it's that
Mm-hmm.
hard that you would rather people think you're angry than people think you're thinking, then you choose that. But if you want people to be able to come up to you so that you can gain some information from them, learn from them. And if I'm going to work, I want to be happy at work. I don't want the angry person next to me. I don't want to hear the sob stories all the time. But sometimes I'm going to have to, just to get to my why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So using strategy over emotion means that sometimes you're going to do a little research. And you're on social media anyway. Instead of just looking at the reel of somebody doing something crazy, look up somebody who you really want to know about. And sometimes that leads to point number 4, connect. And sometimes you
Making
want to connect, make connections for business, but also make connections for pleasure. I know LinkedIn for me, and I think for you too, is the bigger network, the network that we're on more often.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
think I don't connect with people who do lazy LinkedIn messages, who just hit the like button, connect. I want you to tell me if you heard me talk on Career Tuesday. Say I heard you talk on Career Tuesday. Would like to connect. Don't just hit that button because chances are 12 other people will hit that like button and I'm not going to do it. But if you say something to me, and I realized one of the people who did it is actually on this call because she said to me, you know what? I wanted to meet you and I read your book and I'm going to be on the Tuesday. As soon as she saw this connection and that I was going to be on it, she said, I'm going to listen to you on the Career Tuesday. By the way, her
Good.
name is the same as mine, so I love her already. Her name is Marsha. So, Marsha, hello. I know you're on this call. And she's also going to be there. She lives in Atlanta. So, as soon as I did, I looked up and it said Atlanta. I said, oh, I'm going to be in Atlanta. Send her a note. That's how you make connections. You have to put something out there to get something back. So,
Mhm.
learn how to connect. And I also say, who's in your circle? If the people in your circle are draining your energy, it's time to purge.
Yes.
And you know,
Yes.
how many people we have in our circle that we say, oh
Mhm.
gosh, she's calling. Oh gosh, she wants to come over. Oh my goodness, he or she wants to talk. Purge. Don't give your best energy.
Yeah.
Don't give your best self to the person who's draining your energy.
Mhm.
Mm.
Your best self should start with you.
Mhm.
So, who are you connected with? And you two have heard me say this before. I say, who do you know? Who do you need to know?
Yep.
And who needs to know you?
Mhm.
Those are connections. Those are connections that are going to help you sort of move forward with purpose, which is my tagline, by the way. So that's
Yes,
number
I have
three.
that.
Oh,
I
Who
want
what's
you
to
that?
share.
know, who you need
Number
to
four.
know, and who needs to know you.
That's
Mhm.
right.
And who
Who do
needs to
you
know
know?
you? All right,
Who do you
that's
need
another
to know?
gem.
That's it. That's right. And then self care. You know, so often we're so busy taking care of other people that we don't even we don't even put ourselves on the list. Forget about where you fall on that list. You don't even put yourself on the list. So I think that you should do something that makes you happy, at least weekly. I'd like to say daily,
Mhm.
not always possible, but at least weekly, do something that makes you smile. And that can be, you know, people say, oh, I'm going on vacation soon. And I say, so what are you going to do between now and vacation? Oh, I'm going to work like crazy. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm like, you know what? You can take some time. There's
Mhm.
1,440 minutes in a day. Can you take 15 minutes for you?
Mhm.
Just take 15 minutes for yourself, at least where you're doing something for yourself. And it does not have to be hard and it doesn't have to cost money. So sometimes
Yeah.
it's just walking outside, looking outside, or stopping and you know, and you've heard this again, my 4 T's. Take time to think. Back away from all of the things that you're plugged into and sit quietly. You know, be still and let God just
Mhm.
back it up a little bit
Mhm.
and just take
Mhm.
some time. We have to work on our health as well. And that's also mental health.
Yes.
So self-care is mental health as well as physical health. And I say to every woman I know, get your checkups. Do the right thing. Don't say, I didn't have time to go get my mammogram. What the hell do you mean you didn't have time? You were doing all those other things. Think of all the things that you've done and put them in priority order. And chances are, oftentimes, you're not even on the list.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put yourself on your list.
Yes.
Do those kind of things. Self care is really important. It'll make us feel better. And, you know, don't complain about all the terrible things that are going on in the world and then always stay plugged into all the terrible things that are going on in the world. Sometimes you got to back away from the news. Sometimes you got to back away from the
Mhm.
bad news and just be you, which leads to is this my sixth after self-care?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Celebration. Celebrate who
Mhm.
you are and what you have accomplished. And
Mhm.
oftentimes you forget because you if it's not a big deal, you haven't documented it. I have here I go again with my things. I have lots of good stuff, but I have two. This is the my book. I don't know if you can see it, but it's my yes
Mhm.
book. And it's my yes book. And every time I do something that I say, yes, got it, I mark it down. I write
Mhm.
it down. I write down how I felt about it. I put a date next to it. It's my
Mhm.
yes book. Those times when I'm saying like, holy cow, I cannot. It's just draining me. I go back to my yes book so I can celebrate me.
Mhm.
I want to celebrate all the things you accomplish, helps you at work. Because when you're going for your review time, you're thinking you want your boss and your coworkers and all of those people to remember all the wonderful things you've done. Mm-mm. I'm going to remind them. Well, you remember when we did this and I got this accomplished and this happened and I did this
Mhm.
and I did that? I can go back to my book. And I say never go into a performance evaluation without a book or a piece of paper or a pad or
Mhm.
something in your hand because you want them to know that you've been documenting
Mhm.
your
Yeah.
accomplishments. You don't want to have to think about it. You want to do that beforehand. So have your yes book, have your accomplishment book so that you can celebrate yourself. And it can be personal or professional, but you want to celebrate you. If you can't share your story, if you can't decide how what you do on a regular basis fits into your best life, then
Mhm.
it's time to take some time and reflect and build on that. Because I see people who oftentimes are doing wonderful things in their community, but nobody knows about it.
Mhm.
Because in often cases, we used to be told, don't tell your business. You don't have to tell those people at work what you're doing at church. I want to tell people what I'm doing at church because I want them to know I'm a leader in my community and in my
Yes.
church. And you need to hire me to be a leader with you as
Mhm.
well. So I'm going to share that stuff. But you develop your story. You don't have to just do it in little pieces. Develop your story. Practice it. Practice it with a friend. Practice it on your phone. Practice it in the mirror. But share your story as well.
I
Have I
love
gone through
this.
the steps?
Yeah, so we're gonna recap these, and then we want to make sure that we have that that our viewers have questions for you. Some of the comments, just so we can make sure we're going back to just share some of the comments. Natalie said, "Look, listen, and learn." My mom always says, "Look and learn." Kim Les says, "Understand others' perspectives, know what motivates them." Google got it. Got it.
Absolutely.
Nellie said, I guess she talked about the poker face about you, talking about, being able to manage your emotions. Um, Katrina says, right, another misconception of us based on how we look. And Kim that also says, so undervalued connections early in my journey.
Yeah.
We've
And
got
it's
some,
not too late. I can wait before you go any further. Let's just stop there for a minute where it says your undervalued connections. Think about the people who have helped you get to where you are right now. And if they are alive, contact them. Contact them and just say, you know what? I'm at this point in my life and you just crossed my mind. And I just want to say thank you. That's all you have to do. It's not, you can text them, you can call them, you can, God forbid, you should write a whole note and put it in the mail, you know, but you want to differentiate yourself. So say thank you to people who have helped you along the way.
Yeah.
So it's not too late to value those connections that you didn't value early on in your career. And I don't care who they are. And they all are not going to look like you, by the way.
That's true.
Don't
that's
worry about
true.
it.
That's true. So Mia Jackson says also manage expectations, yours and others.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So let's run through these, recap these real quick, and we want to make sure that you all can ask Marsha some questions while we have you on. So we're talking about Marsha's favorite career tips, and she's sharing 6 of these that she shared with us today. The first one is lead yourself.
Mhm.
The
Number
first
2,
person you
understand.
lead is yourself.
Mm-hmm. Number 2 is understand your why. Number 3, strategy over emotion.
Mhm.
And I think this one here, I think, has resonated with everyone that's watching today. This has been a big one here. Number 4, make connections.
Both
Number
business and
5,
personal.
yes. And then wait a minute, let's stop with the make connections, because this is where you dropped a few gems, right? So we have the gem,
Mhm.
which is who do you look, who do you know, who do you need to know, and who needs to know you?
That's
Yeah.
right.
So we had to drop that gem there. And then for self care, which is number 5, you had the gem. Look, I wrote these down. Okay, the 4
Oh, I'm glad
T's.
you did.
Take time to
I'll
care.
copy them later.
4 T's. Take time to think. All right.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that was the gem for number 5, and then celebrate yourself was number 6. And wait a minute, we have to go back to the first gym. Money is only the motivator on payday. Just a reminder, everybody, from
That's right.
Marsha. And then her amazing 3 C's, which is confidence, consistency, and commitment.
Yeah. I actually
Now,
have 7 C's, but I only mentioned 3 for this one.
okay.
I
Okay.
might
Oh,
get
We'll
this.
save
we had that
we'll
before.
save those for Atlanta. We'll save those for the mentor summit in Atlanta.
That's
Okay.
right. I was going to say we'll talk about those at the summit in Atlanta this weekend.
Yes, we will. So I want to talk really quickly about consistency, because when you, I know, and I'm just going to be transparent for me. I know when I get in a place where if I have burnout, um, I can probably start to get a little lax with that. So, what are some of the tips that you can give for someone who may also experience this, when you know that you may be on the brink of either burnout, or, and it's not that you don't love what you do, but you definitely need to rest. What are some of the things that advice you can give to kind of bring that consistency back into the fold?
Mhm.
You know that you might be burning the candle at both ends, or just kind of in a place where you like something's got to give.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, 2 parts. I think self-care is important. And remember, I said self-care is not does not have to be something big, but something that you enjoy. So
Mhm.
sometimes it means sitting quietly. I have a couple of clients who have small children, and they say, I'm always on because the kids, I'm working and then I get home and the kids want everything. And then I say, do little things like, do they bother you when you're in the bathroom? No, they let me. The only time I get a break is when I'm in the bathroom. I say, so go in the bathroom and lock the door and
Right.
put some cold water on your face and just sit and breathe.
Yeah.
You can't
Mhm.
ask for people not to take your time if you haven't set any boundaries.
Mhm.
So I didn't have boundaries in this mix, but they go hand in hand. Tell people what your boundaries are and then live it. I have clients that say, you know what? I get these emails at night, and people are asking me to do stuff when I'm on vacation. You know, Everyone will try that because they're working on their time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emails are not your priority. Emails are the person who sent the emails priorities.
Mhm.
So you guys know, Sherry, you and I talked about this. I Not only do I put my phone on silent, I don't put my phone on silent. I turn the sucker off at a certain time at night. It's off. I don't, why? I'm not going to be talk. I don't want to talk to you. I'm
Mhm.
not going to talk to you, and I don't want to have to tell you don't contact me. You can contact me all you want because I'm not going to see it until in the morning because my phone is off.
That's
Because if
right.
I see it, then I'm going to be thinking about it. Now it's on my mind. Now it's my issue.
Yeah.
If I don't see it, I don't even know it's my issue.
Hmm.
So set some boundaries for yourself.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know, if you say don't contact me when I'm on vacation, if you're not the boss or if there's not a big issue going on, don't turn on that phone. to see what's going on in the office
Mhm.
and then get mad because things are going on in the office. Or if you must be in contact, I know I'm going to be available on Monday and Thursday, but the other days of my vacation, I'm not going to be on, and I'm only going to be on for an hour at whatever time. You can tell people that, and then they have to honor it because you really
Yeah.
want to be on. So you set some boundaries for yourself. Now, that doesn't mean I'm on vacation, so I'm not going to answer anything. If you have a responsible job where you do have to answer some things, set some real times up. Say I'll be available on this day, or I'll be available at 3 o'clock. If it's every day, I'll be available at 3 o'clock every day. I don't really like that one. So every day is too much if I'm
Yeah.
on vacation. But once or twice during a weekly time, and they'll know that's setting expectations, your expectations and theirs. So there's some things that you can do in that regard. We're in control of that.
So, Makita, you want to go through some of these, some of our statements, and questions and answers. I mean, questions here that we have in the timeline.
Sure. Let's see here. What do we have? So if you have questions for Marsha, feel free to put them in the chat. Um, Sharon says 68 and best life is just starting.
Mhm.
Yay, good for
Oh, I
you,
love to go
Sharon.
share it.
Me
Yes.
too, Sharon. I agree. Connected.
Rita, I believe, says she's connecting from Uganda. Hello over there.
Hello there.
Glad to be
Hello,
here.
Uganda. Yes.
Mia says she loves that vacation strategy. I do too.
Good.
I'm one to actually question if I need a corporate phone for one of those for one of those reasons.
Yeah.
To be honest, so
You could say, you know what? I if you have a corporate phone, and I do have clients that have corporate phones, say, I'm only going to turn my corporate phone on at this time, or I'm going to be on vacation, so I'm not taking my corporate phone. And they say, oh, but you know what? Something might come up, and somebody might handle it, but it won't be me.
Mhm. That's right. That's right.
I'd love to see how you handle that. That's what I tell. I've said that to a boss, by the way. I'd love to
That's
see
right.
how you handle it.
Astrid says, I'm guilty of not celebrating myself enough. Yes, we do need to get
And
in
she
the
put
habit
their
of
hand up like, yeah.
yes, we do. We do.
Start that. And it doesn't have to be big, but it
Yeah.
needs to be something. And
Yes.
and 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 for me, that might be taking a walk, or it might be riding my bike,
Mhm.
or you know what? It might be just doing nothing. I'm not a big TV watcher, but I might want to watch something that makes me laugh. So I might turn on something that is totally not, I don't have to do a lot of heavy thinking. I just want to laugh and enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So
Tiffany, go ahead.
Tiffany, Tiffany, I hope that's how I pronounce your name. Thank you for your comment. Tiffany says, I'm at a point where working for someone else is not a good fit.
Mhm.
Wow. How did you make the transition to being your own boss? Great question.
I get this question often. I I prepared for it because when you say I'm not a good fit working for someone, when you become your own boss, then you have a lot of bosses. When you have your own company, there are a lot of bosses, and there are going to be a lot of things that you're not going to want to do that you may have to do anyway because whatever your job is. Um, I actually planned for it, and when I started planning for it, and you ladies may have heard this, there were like 4 or 5 things that worried me. Of
Mm,
course, money is one of them. Am I going to make enough money to sustain myself? So I did a couple
Mhm.
of things. I did a real budget, and I looked to see what I could eliminate so that I had the least amount of money. I want to make a lot of money, but if I make this much money, what could I give and what could I get? So, do you need uh 120 channels on your TV, or can you do with less? So you might want to say that might be one of the things you're going to cut down. Do I first of all, shopping was a big one. I
Mhm.
loved to shop just because you had the money, you see something nice, and you can impulse shop when you make money. You can't
Yeah.
impulse shop when you don't have enough money to do. So for a year, actually, before I left my current job, I stopped all shopping. And guess what? I had enough clothes in my closet, because you usually do.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
you can't
This is
wear
true.
30 pair of shoes. You cannot wear 30 pair of shoes. You just can't. So bought a big one of those big clothing racks. And when you take your clothes out of the closet and put it on the rack, all of a sudden you say, wow, that those pants go nice with that shirt. I never wore those together. Now you got a new outfit, you know?
That's
So
true.
do some things like that. You have to get creative,
Mhm.
and you can try those things. So shopping, setting a budget. So money was one. The second one was benefits, because benefits are expensive. So you want to
Mhm.
know how much things cost. If you have benefits now, first of all, you want to get all of your exams taken care of. But when you get those exams taken care of, find out how much they cost, because you don't know, because you've been handed in your insurance card. How much does it cost to get a mammogram? How much does it cost to do this? How much does it cost to do that? So that you have some real idea of budget for benefit relation. And sometimes you're going to self-fund those doctor visits, and all you want to buy is a major medical plan. Get hit by a bus.
Mhm.
So you
Yeah.
want to do that comparison, and you don't do that when you're working, because you don't have to.
Mhm.
So that was another one. The third one for me was technology. And Sherry, you ladies have heard me do this. I am not good at technology. So here's another tip for you. If you don't, if technology is not going to be your business, find somebody else to do it. So I say, do it, delegate it, or dump it.
Mm.
Do it,
Okay, that's another
delegate
tip.
it,
Hold
or
That's
on.
dump
good.
Hold
That's
on.
good too. That's really good too.
right? So I knew I was going to need technology. I don't want to get here's another one for you. Don't get good at what you have no business doing anyway. Right? I don't need to get good at technology. I don't like it. I know I need it, but I don't like it. I don't do it well. That was a delegation piece, right? So I either have to do it